Hey there, Boots Owen here. I've got my 8Freight cargo bike over on its side because I'm going to put a new chain on it. I've had this bike 4 years or 5 years now, and I give it a lot of heavy work. When I got it originally, I put a new chain, sprockets, derailleur on it, and I can't remember if I changed the tooth on this. I think I made it a higher ratio or a lower ratio, something like that, so we'll go that a little bit faster. It's a 8 or 9 speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an 8 speed, and it seems to have a really decent range that you can cruise along quite happily in the high gear, and you can go up hills all right, even with a load in that low gear there. It's got a little stainless steel outrigger here as a derailleur hanger. This is one of the Mike Burrows design features. It's pretty good, but I'd hate to have to rebuild it if it got bent. Maybe it's as stainless, it'll bend quite easily. The chain I've just been wiping down with a rag so far to try and get some of the dirt off it. The plan with that is to put the old chain from this bike onto the linear recumbent that I've just got. So over there among the chaos is a linear recumbent with a 700 back wheel and a 20-inch front wheel. I'll make videos about that separately to this, but this is just about replacing the chain. So I'm starting by cleaning it, and I'm going to give it a pretty thorough cleaning because there's a lot of gunk underneath as well. So a major part of making this video is for me to remember the chain pattern. So it comes over here, travels along over this pulley here, which is a pulley with a bearing, a double pulley with a bearing, into the derailleur as usual, along here and under this. So this is carrying, so the outside of this pulley here is carrying all the weight of the pulling force as you stand on it. It has to go, the load has to go around this, and that's so that you can make the chain fit. It's one of Mike Burrows' recumbent designs, I think, originally, and he's applied it to this. I'll give that a clean. It's quite greasy. I'm glad it is. Some features I've added are just plastic ducting I've put here, because when this chain was flapping around before, sometimes it was hitting and grinding into this, and likewise over here. I'm not entirely sure why. I think it was incorrectly routed on this in the past, but it seems to be okay now because I don't see any evidence of scarring on these plastics, so that's okay. It's good, in fact. So what I've been doing is just grabbing this cloth tight and holding it and just slowly going along. And that's getting quite a bit of the dirt off, and just move it to another position. It's just dirty oil, and it builds a grinding paste over time, but this chain seems to have lasted quite well. You can see some grease and stuff in there. Just hook that out. There's a lot of grease on these jockey wheels. Again, see it as a positive thing. It's a bit tricky because the chain, when it's going in reverse on its side, wants to fall off. I think that's about where it's going to be now. So I've been doing this for quite a while. It's a bit of a war of attrition. Wind it a bit. Look that it's dirty. Move it to a cleaner part. Do it again. And then I'll give it a bath in some diesel or something to clean it, and then I'll give it another bath in some oil. The other thing I'm trying to do is find the links, the split links. So I found one there. Oh, derailed it. So what I'm doing here is just massaging the chain to get the dirt out from between the links more. It's coming out pretty clean, actually. It's good. It's a lot more work. It's coming out a lot cleaner. So here's the split link, and it should just be a matter of snapping it. Try with the bigger pliers, maybe. Diagonally. No, that's not going to do it. You should try it like this. Grab the slack. So what I'm trying to do is push the link, squeeze it together. But if you just squeeze both sides, it doesn't want to come, so you have to kind of do it diagonally. So let's try. That's it, snap. And then it should fall apart like that. And take the link out. And then it's a matter of unrolling the chain. So I'll give this a clean and show you what's going on here. But in this case, the link just fits in together like that, and then snaps shut like that. And just the tension of cycling on it keeps it closed, but it would just slide quite easily. So I'll remove the chain, give it a bit of a clean, and put the new one in. There it is, 2.5 chains. I'll roll it up and put it in a bath of petrol or diesel or something, white spirits, to clean it off. So let's try cleaning the rest of this. Some bits are easier to clean than others. I'm popping this off by just putting this flat bladed screwdriver in and rotating it. Gets that protector off, that guard. Yeah, it's got some big gobs of stuff on it. And in this case, this bit I'm not worried about being too thorough on, but I do want to get the dirt off it. It's the chain, where the chain touches, is more where I want to clean any grit and road detritus off. Looking at those sprocket teeth, they're not very hooked. They're not particularly worn at all, which is good. If you're into brands and stuff, you can see what brand we have here, but this will have been bought on the basis that it was one of the cheapest that I could find on eBay at the time. What I'm going to do is I'll go over it all with the dirty cloth, and then I'll come back with the clean cloth. So this is the idler wheel in the middle. You can see how it sprays up on the timber here. You can see all that goo coming out. So there is a bearing there. It's a bit loose on that bearing, but you have to turn up a nylon pulley for that. I don't know if you could even go out and buy one, so I'm not too worried about it. It's held on, the bearing in the inside's held on with a circlip. So that's the top race path. What I could have done was put the screwdriver in here first to chase out any goo. This pulley has worn with the pattern of a chain on it. So it's like it's got teeth in there, but they're not originally machined in. They've just worn in over time. I don't really want to take these off, but it would be the best way, I think. I think I need to get a clean cloth. This cloth's getting pretty grim. Work it anyways. I could take it off and clean it. It's a bit of play. More than I would have said was right for a freewheel, but equally, I'm not particularly worried about it. It's not a new bike. There's very little wear on these teeth. So now that I've got the bulk of the dirt off, I can go through it a bit more methodically with a cleaner cloth. This is just a strip of toweling, or dishcloth or something. Cut my glove, I need a new glove. There's a lot of snots in here still. Let's get this one off, it looks like a 6mm. Stainless. M8, 6mm. Head. So if you look in there, you can see on this one here, there's tooth marks from where it carves its own pulley sprocket. I've got the old chain stewing in this mixture. This is just a turpentine substitute, so I'm gonna give this a wash out with that, and then I'll give it a rinse out with water or soap or something to make sure I get it off. I don't know if it will react with the plastic, so I don't really want to, although I don't see how it could, because the plastic, whatever it is, has had chain oil on it for 10 years or more, so I'll just talk myself out of it there. I'll give it a good wipe down. Different oils and different plastics don't react and do react and stuff, so. When I got this bike, this guide wasn't installed correctly and the chain, I think, was routed the wrong way. And it kept falling off and grinding on things, so that, like I said, those plastics have never actually come into play. They've never really been used, but they're there now just in case. But before that, when I was on the old chain, before I'd looked at it carefully, it was grinding. Okay, that's clean. Put a bit of that turpentine substitute on the cloth, just a drop. Brings it up clean straight away. But before it dries, you need to wipe off so it'll dry the dirty residue on just the same. I'm not precious about having a bike so clean, but equally I don't want it to be dirty if I don't have to while I'm here. It's the easiest time to clean it. I think this bike was originally black and then resprayed bright orange. Okay, let's get a new chain on. So this little bush goes in there, in the back. Then this fellow, this metal guide. Then the screw. So I've cleaned and disassembled the old chain. That's these 1, 2 and 3 chains here. And I've also got the new chain here as well. Bought 2 new chains, new links, two new split links. So I'm going to check the length of a new chain against an old chain to make sure that they're the same, link for link. So when I've compared them side by side, end to end, they are the same, but if I hold them up where you can see the ends on the camera maybe, down there, the one on the left is ever so slightly about a link longer, and that's because it's the old chain. So I'm happy that the new and the old are the same. Then I just need to take my partial length and measure it against a partial length to make that up. So they're all new. I have the partial length from the time I did this job before. I'll break that chain then, if it's long enough. It should be. I think it's less than half. So what I'm doing is I'm just measuring them side by side. So I've only got enough split links, 2 new ones, so I'm going to measure this against it and cut it a half link longer so that I can have a joiner. So here I need to split it and save the pin in the chain to join to a next length of new chain. There it is. The trick is not to push it the whole way out, just far enough that you can snap it out like that. So that's new, spare. This is new, that's old. So join this onto the end of one new, and then I only need 2 split links, which I have. It's catching. There we go. No. It's just not lining up right for some reason. There we go, that's it. Just pushing it just far enough, not too far. Whatever that means. That's plenty flexible, that's good. And I'll join with a new split link, this chain to this chain. Put a link in on each side. Like this. This, and then offer them up together, pull them. I don't know if they're going to pull here. Let's try. No, they're too tight. I need to get the pliers on them. That's it, snap. So let's get the chain back on then. There it is, right. Let's pull that there. Okay. That's that. Let's run it through the gears. It's not coming up onto the lowest gear, highest gear. So I'll try it standing upright. Give this fellow another wipe. Just pushes in. That's it. Okay. So let's try running it through all the gears now. Doesn't want to come that last bit. Doesn't want to spring that last bit. Let's adjust this here. I think it's bottoming out here, and I'm wondering, is there an adjuster in there that needs to be pushed back a bit? In fact, is that a bit loose there? It surely is. Let's try tightening that. Taking it off is going to make much difference, is it? It's bottoming out up here. I could grind that off. I don't think taking this off is going to change anything. In fact, a bit of slop in it. So if I tighten this screw, there's a screw down in the back there. Perfect. So if you think this was a long process, whatever you see on the video is a lot shorter. I'm just trying to show you how I do it and how I tackle a problem, and hopefully it's helpful to you, even if you've not got a Burrows 8Freight, if you've just got well, any other kind of very long chained tandem or recumbent bike. I think I've over slackened this one now. Looks a bit better. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, thanks for watching and see you later.